I want to talk to you about a company called AccuWeb, and we want to discuss their web hosting. The question is it worth your investments? So let me first give you a bird's eye view of this company so we have a clear idea what we're talking about. So when you think about AccuWeb Hosting, I want you to think about a company that was founded 20 years ago. So they've been in business for a while now. They were founded in 2003, and so they provide a huge range of web hosting products and services. So I'm talking about a WordPress hosting. They have application hosting, cloud hosting, reseller hosting. They have load balancers. They have backup schemes, domain registration, SSL certificates, and more. So you have a whole 9 yards here. Okay, they actually run the whole gamut. They also have, by the way, they have a shared hosting and VPS. So this is kind of cool. One thing I want to say here is that we love the fact that this is a company that has a great friendly budget set of shared hosting options. You have excellent dedicated hosting plans. This is kind of cool in terms of flexibility. They offer a choice of Linux or Windows servers, and they have a great and knowledgeable customer service. So when you analyze this company, we love the fact that they're constantly growing. They're constantly introducing new products and services. So we love that a lot. Now, in terms of the thing we don't really like with them is that they have limited email accounts with some plans, so you got to be really careful about the plan you sign up for if you go with AccuWeb. What I want to tell you here is that it's one of those things where when you think about AccuWeb, you got to think about flexibility. Most products that they have are highly configurable. So if you're looking for, let's say, an unmanaged VPS, they'll take care of it. If you're looking for cPanel option, they'll take care of it. They have a Plesk, they have direct admin, they have cPanel. And if you look, the company itself is also very scalable in the sense that they can install free options like ISPC, config, INT, or zPanel. So this is kind of cool. If you are looking for a US dedicated server, AccuWeb has so many options. It's just crazy. They have hundreds of options that the website uses 8 separate filters to help you find what you need. So long story short, you have a player that's really here, that's been here for 20 years now, that has all the capabilities that you might need if you're looking for web hosting, all kinds of web hosting. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. Let's talk real quick about pricing. I want you to look right now on the screen so you can see that there is a diversity of prices. We have most importantly, we have a trifecta of pricing. So you have the website hosting, the Windows VPS hosting, and you have the reseller hosting. And it's one of those things where the prices are pretty interesting too. You are looking at $350, $7, and $30. Now, the thing here is that you have within each category, each cluster, you do have a series of pricing tiers to actually look at. So when we talk about AccuWeb, you have shared hosting, which is great for smaller websites like blogs and small businesses. You have cloud hosting, which is great for large online stores, web-based applications, and news sites. You have a VPS hosting, which really gives you full control over the server for advanced needs. So if you have a super important project and you really are looking for hosting capabilities, VPS hosting is pretty good to go. You have dedicated hosting, which is actually suitable for large organizations and high traffic websites. So long story short, when you think about scalability, I want you to think about AccuWeb hosting, especially their trifecta of pricing tiers. You have budget, personal, and small businesses, and this is on the lower end side. But now, if you want to go a little up, then you can talk about enterprise. That's totally fine too. At the end of the day, everything revolves around the kind of storage you're looking for, the kind of bandwidth you are looking for, and the number of email accounts you want to have in each plan. And the larger storage plans actually call for a higher amount. So you're looking at $7 to $9 per month. And so this is really good. Now, one thing I want to say here is that what we love about AccuWeb hosting is that the renewal price stays the same as the initial cost, which is extremely attractive budget-wise, and not many providers can offer that. I mean, a lot of them, they bump up the price when you renew, but AccuWeb doesn't do that. They keep the price at the same level. This is really good. And they also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So this is more than enough time to be able to switch out let's say a provider, if you ever feel like your hosting is kind of crappy, By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about AccuWeb hosting. The big question is it really worth it or not? I want to talk to you about the value added here. So when we talk about AccuWeb hosting, big question is what kind of value this player adds to your operation, or what kind of value could this player actually add to your operations? And what I want to do is I want to look at clusters. I want to look at several clusters to see how they add value based on cluster. I want to first talk about shared web hosting. So AccuWeb has an impressive variety of shared plans. So basically, when we talk about shared web, we're speaking about shared hosting that places your website on a server with other sites. In other words, your site shares system resources with other websites on the server. So this roommate environment lowers the hosting cost, that's for sure, resulting in cheap web hosting plans. You get what you pay for, however. Your site might actually slow down if one of these roommates gets on the front page of Reddit. If you get a massive traffic spike, on the other hand, you might find your site throttled to prevent your roommates from slowing to a standstill. So some services might even take you offline if your shared hosting traffic gets too far out of line. So it's one of those things to be really aware of. And then, so besides shared web hosting, you have VPS web hosting. So if your business demands a website with more power than what shared hosting offers, virtual private servers, VPS hosting is the way to go. Sites built on VPS servers have increased system resources compared to a shared hosting, so your site will likely survive a link going viral. You're still renting a part of a shared server, but your site is more isolated from its server mates. So it's shared if shared hosting stablemates are like roommates. Sites on the same VPS server are more like tenants, tenants who are living in their own apartments in the same apartment building. You also have dedicated web hosting. This is another part that I want you to really be familiar with. So with dedicated hosting with the AccuWeb, basically this is for people who are really serious about their web hosting. So with dedicated hosting, your website gets an entire server for itself. That means that it will have a ridiculous amount of system resources at its disposal to handle large amounts of traffic. To continue to really think about it, to continue the living arrangements metaphor. Dedicated web hosting services are similar to living in your own single family home, and depending on the plan you subscribe to, it might be a mansion. So this is kind of cool. You also have WordPress hosting. This is another area where AccuWeb hosting really adds value. So webmasters who are serious about their WordPress installations will be happy to know that AccuWeb hosting offers a WordPress specific hosting that gives your site the white glove treatment. This includes a pre-installed content management system, a CMS. You have automatic updates, and you also have a multi-layer DDoS protection scheme. So this is kind of cool. You also have a reseller web hosting. So if you are looking to get into the web hosting business for yourself, but you don't want to deal with managing servers and other infrastructure matters, you want to check out AccuWeb's Linux or Windows-based reseller hosting packages. And so with reseller hosting, you rent server space from an established player and resell it to your own subscribers. So this is kind of cool. It's a pretty lucrative business model, though. And the cool thing is that AccuWeb also lets you apply your own branding to the servers you rent, and it applies 24/7 tech support too. This is kind of cool. And then you also have another area where AccuWeb really adds value. We are speaking here about cloud web hosting. So this is a unique form of web hosting that sees your site draw resources from multiple servers instead of just one, as with traditional hosting. So cloud hosting's use of multiple servers gives it a certain advantage over traditional hosting. Let me give you an example. If your website experiences a sudden traffic spike, it can really pull resources from another server to prevent slow page loads or, worse, the site going down. And in addition, cloud hosting makes it incredibly simple for you to scale resources up or down as needed. So this is really cool. So we love the fact that, again, what we love about AccuWeb is not just how many times it really adds value. is the diversity of the options he has on the table. And this is kind of cool because at any pricing tier, you are able to take advantage of the functionalities that I've just spoken about. Shared hosting, VPS hosting, dedicated hosting, WordPress hosting, reseller hosting, cloud web hosting. Fantastic. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about AccuWeb web hosting. Can you actually build a website with AccuWeb? Of course you can. Yes, not a problem. It's a very straightforward, very simple. After signing up for a plan, you are going to receive a welcome email, and there you have a step-by-step that tells you how to actually set up your AccuWeb account, and then you can create a website. Not a problem, okay? And so we love the fact that they have a great cPanel backend interface, so it makes it a lot easier to read and navigate than to read from than the traditional cPanel. So this is really fantastic. And you also have the good thing about AccuWeb is that not only are you able to set up a website real fast to really get on with your e-commerce, let's say to build a website, a regular website, it can be a blog, it can be a company website, but it's really fast depending upon how complicated you want the website to be. Not complicated, but how deep, how condensed you want the website to be. It could take you somewhere from a few hours to a day to actually set up everything. Then you also have e-commerce and security options as part of AccuWeb. So you are able to create an attractive e-commerce shop in just a few minutes, mostly spend dragging and dropping website elements. So drag and drop. Okay, and so this is kind of cool. And we also love the fact that Magento has the flexibility to house multiple storefronts and integrate eBay accounts. So if you are going through AccuWeb, you're able to do a lot of things. We love the fact that AccuWeb hosting gives you plenty of options when it comes to e-commerce stores, but also when it comes to security. So you are able to safeguard your website from those who would do harm. I mean, this is kind of cool. And so you can add a 256 SSL certificate and spam experts spam blocker. So if you are serious about your site's security, you want to look into those options. And again, when we talk about site security, this is not a one-time thing. It's not just one thing you do and forget about it. No, you have to actually keep doing it over and over and over until you get the results that you really expect. It's one of those things where it might take you a while, but after 3 months at least, you are able to have a pretty solid website. Another area where AccuWeb hosting adds a lot of value is through its uptime. So you have good uptime. So website uptime is one of the most important aspects of a hosting service. So while your site is down, clients or customers will be unable to find you or access your products or services, and they might not come back. So this is kind of cool to have a good uptime. You also have with AccuWeb, you have great customer service. So they offer both web chat and 24/7 telephone customer support. So when you ask a question via web chat, AccuWeb hosting serve up links to a knowledge database, and this is kind of cool. And so they will give you a satisfactory answer. The bottom line here is that you have a pretty knowledgeable customer service, pretty knowledgeable and responsive, I might add, customer service team. And so overall, when you think about AccuWeb, I want you to think about an excellent web host. Okay, they have this is basically a featured stacked web hosting service that truly shines in the dedicated hosting category, for which this is actually one of our picks. Though if you desire unlimited email accounts, if you're partnering and sign up for an AccuWeb Windows base plan, you may need to look elsewhere because AccuWeb doesn't have the best offer in that category. So long story short, when you close your eyes and think about AccuWeb hosting, I want you to think about a tool that's great for budget-friendly entrepreneurs. If you are looking for budget-friendly shared hosting options, you have excellent dedicated hosting plans. You have a player that offers a great choice of Linux or Windows server. So you have the ability there, the flexibility there. And but just remember that you're not going to get email accounts that you need. Okay, but long story short, you are gonna get the help. And bottom line is UX and UI, their user interface and user experience are pretty great. And they are really, as I said a couple seconds ago, their customer service team is knowledgeable and responsive. And those are the two things you need when it comes to web hosting. You want responsiveness and you want knowledgeability. You want them to know what they're talking about so they can fix your problems ASAP. Let me give you the specs before we close to this conversation. So when you think about AccuWeb, I want you to think about a couple of things. What do they really stand out? You have excellent customer support team. That I've already said that, and I will repeat it. It's just amazing. Okay, they provide excellent tech support during regular working hours, and they can answer complex questions about your hosting setup and correctly identify issues that you are dealing with. You have affordability, so affordable options for most web hosting services. And you'll find plenty of shared and cloud plans for under $10. This is kind of cool because, when it comes to scalability, you have a lot of room to grow as you'll be able to switch plans without searching for like a new host. You have fast storage, so all websites tested on AccuWeb, including some on the cheapest plan, had satisfactory to excellent response times. This is kind of cool. You have a reliability. Also, it's another keyword that we think a lot about when we think about the AccuWeb. So reliable hosting services. So as I said before, the uptime guarantee is kind of important. So you have a 99.9% uptime guarantee, and this guarantee applies to all of its services. You have a player that offers a free trial. So AccuWeb regularly offers deals on hosting packages. So you can get a free month of Windows VPS hosting right now, okay? And you can also sign up and be experiencing the features for yourself in less than 1 hour. So it's one of those things where you have to see what really works for you and the right time to actually sign up. So long story short, there are a few things you need to really be aware of, but just remember that the pricing is a little confusing. And if you don't know how to really sort of navigate that side of AccuWeb, you might end up paying a lot more, way more. And also just remember that sometimes their customer support is not really fast. I mean, they are responsive, but in terms of being responsive 24/7, it's not always the case. Sometimes you might have to wait a little more before they get back to you. But when they get back to you, as I said earlier, they always have the answers to all questions that you might have asked beforehand. So long story short, AccuWeb is definitely a great company to work for, and we do recommend them. They are a legit company. They've been in existence for many years now, and they have a pretty diverse customer base and pretty diverse business model, if you will, to make them sustainable. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Let me quickly do a recap of today's conversation. So in this AccuWeb hosting review, I gave you the bird's eye view, the pricing, the value added, the specs, and now I'm doing the recap. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.